Ayo, I'm Tits.
Hey everyone, I'm Areolas.
And we're doing Gone in 60 Seconds, the Nicolas Cage one. What's your exposure to this movie?
Uh man, I remember seeing it a long time ago, and yeah, that it was good back then, and I rewatched it. It's still good. What about you?
Well, I was recently watching it like a couple of months ago, and I started to watch the wrong one, and I was like, "Wow, this is actually really slow in comparison to this version. The 80s version is much slower." It makes me wonder, why is it called Gone in 60 Seconds? The old version. But I know why this is called Gone in 60 Seconds, because it's very high paced.
hmm No, this movie. I didn't even know it was a like remake of a old movie till I was googling, like searching for it, and I found that 1970 whatever. I was like, oh, this is a remake. Okay, cool.
This one is clearly the superior one. Uh, so this movie's concept starts. There's this like group of people. They got to steal 50 cars, right? And they're somewhat successful, except for this one guy is like, "Oh, I'm gonna have the police follow us to our base because I'm stupid."
hmm
Ooh, and so the cops receive, um, not receive. It's they take the 50 cars back, and
Yeah.
now this guy who's like, he's involved. Like he has horses in this race. He has cars in this race per se. Um, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna pay somebody else to deal with this, to steal these 50 cars back in 72 hours because we need the cars in 72 hours." And that's pretty much the premise of the movie.
Yeah, it's all about, as gay as it sounds, it's very touching to me because it's about like family, because of course
Family.
yeah, it's like friendship. No, like the My Little Ponies. No, it's family because you have the little brother who is trying to steal the cars, like you said. He fucks up, and the guy who paid him is like, "Man, you fucked up. I need these cars stolen within a certain amount of time. We're gonna get your brother over here, who actually has like a fucking past, and he's really good at stealing cars, but he retired for whatever reason, his own reasons, that you find out later on. And so they get his brother out of retirement to steal all these 50 cars, and they got like what I think 3 days, 3 or 4 days to do it.
Yeah, 72 hours is 3 days.
hmm
So, what's interesting about this movie is there are some aspects that is like, "Oh, this is easy. We can get these cars because we have a deal with the dealership. Like we bribe some dudes. Oh yeah, let's give some dudes some money so we can steal their cars." And it makes me wonder, how much are they profiting? Like what's the economic uh purposes of stealing a car and then selling it? Wouldn't you just get caught? Like, how, like, just give me those 50 cars, steal them back. And I'm like, well, what do you plan on doing with the 50 cars? Selling them when they're, what are you going to replace their VIN numbers? I know the old movie does this. Like, they replace the VIN numbers and, like, take apart the cars and reassemble them so they can sell them. That makes
hmm
sense. But this movie doesn't really touch up on that.
No, it doesn't really make it. It's more story than it making sense logically. Because for one, I guess if you wanted to throw logic into it, they're taking them on a boat and they're going out of country. So maybe these cars are sought after in other countries because they're American made cars, or they're ones that are only available here.
Mm.
But the whole fact that like they have a whole crew and they're giving them only $200,000 to steal 50 cars, that doesn't sound like it's worth it because you're splitting 200,000 amongst like a crew of 6 or 10 people, so everyone's only getting like $20,000 for the risk of
I
stealing
mean,
50 cars.
I mean, that's just like that's basically the entire year of what someone would make if they were just below the poverty line, but like
Yeah,
just one, but they earned that in 72 hours. So that maybe they make a ton of money doing this. Like if they're getting if each of them is getting 20 grand out of this, and they can earn 20 grand in 72 hours, then they probably it's probably reasonable to assume that they're also having other jobs similar to this, but this might
yeah.
be like a really high paying job.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Maybe it's just, oh, this helps build our relationship, and then we'll do more work in the future once you see how good I can steal 50 cars in
Yeah.
this amount of time. So yeah, I could see that. One of my favorite things though, is the whole getting the crew back together thing, which is so kind of cliche, but I kind of love it in this one when they're like calling different people and, oh, this guy's in jail or this guy's dead, but they end up finding like a good amount of crew, and they're all so different, but they all know and respect each other, you know?
Yeah, it is interesting. Like you got like people you wouldn't think would work well together, but since they're together on this job, they have qualities that complement the other crew members' qualities, like mechanic skills or like other
Stealing.
car skills. I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know what the car skills are.
Uh-huh.
So,
Well, like
but
driving skills, thieving
yeah,
skills, so they all have their own.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it seems to me that some cars are easier to get than others. I mentioned before, like there's like a dealership that was able to get them keys to some of the cars, but like the other cars are in different places, like they're in police yards, or it's there's this one specific car that what's the guy's name?
Nicolas Cage, his name's, Memphis?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Memphis. Yes.
Yeah,
So
that's what they call him.
Memphis, he's like, I want to save this car for last. I'm gonna save this specific car because I've always wanted to steal this car. I'm like, I understand that actually. That doesn't make no sense. And that double negative is on purpose because it makes complete sense actually. Uh because like yeah, if it's like the last one you're going to remember the most. The last car you steal, you will just remember. The other ones are easy to get and it's like whatever. But this getting this last car is such a challenge for him. And I think that getting that last car takes up like the rest of the third act pretty much.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
No, definitely, and they, whenever they finally start to, well, they take 2 of the days to scope out all the cars, make sure they have everything ready, and they come up with a plan. We're gonna steal everything in one night. That way, no one knows what hit them. The cops are too much in a frenzy to know what to do, and they could just get it all done and get all the cars taken care of and essentially save his brother because that's what's on the line really is his brother's life, his little brother's life, and his
Family.
his life too, family.
Mm,
That's all this movie's about.
yeah, that's true.
And what do you think about Angelina Jolie in this movie? What do you find her? How do you find her?
Forgettable. Honestly, if you want me to
Really?
be completely, yeah, like she's like attractive and whatnot, but what I remember the most from this car movie are the car stealing schemes.
Hmm.
I find that to be the most interesting part of the movies is how they end up getting the cars. It's they have to be so coordinated about it, which is hard to do when you have a bunch of people and a bunch of cars to steal.
Hmm.
And eventually the cops are going to get on you, which is what happens. The cops get on him, them, all of them.
Yeah, the cops essentially the two that are like after them with the bone to pick. they're on them from the very beginning when Memphis gets there. They're like, because they already knew, like you said earlier, they broke up the scheme the first time, and they're like, "Oh, it's no coincidence Memphis is back in town. He's obviously probably got something to do with this, so we're gonna keep track of him." And he knows, Memphis knows that the cops are watching him, so that's part of the plan too. That they plan to do it in just 24 hours in order to confuse everyone or just hit it all at once. You know.
Man, this movie should be been called Gone in 24 hours.
Or however many seconds are in 24 hours.
Why is it 60 seconds?
I'm not sure. I guess the car that he really likes, that Shelby, that one he calls Eleanor, the what is it? The Ford Shelby GT 500 1967. I think it goes from 0 to 60 in a minute. I don't know. I'm not sure. There's
In
got
a
to be a
minute?
reason. That's
That's
not
no
very
time.
fast. No, that's not
No,
fast at
it's
all.
not at all. Like fast cars, last time I checked, this is like 10 years ago. Last time I checked, the fastest cars could go from 0 to 60 in like 6 seconds.
Yeah. No,
And
and
that
they
was like
probably go.
10 years ago.
Uh-huh. Uh, so I have no idea other than it just being based off of the older movie. But you even said that it's kind of not even like the old movie, so it's just by name, I guess.
I mean, yeah, the older movie was just I don't even remember. Maybe because just I stopped watching the older movie halfway through once I realized I was watching the wrong movie. But like the beginning isn't anything about like, oh, we got to steal this many cars in this many hours. It's just about car stealing
Hmm.
and how they did it. And it's a much slower paced movie.
Also, what do you think about the villain of this movie, which is the guy who wants all those 50 cars stolen? He pays him, and he's all into like woodworking for some reason.
I don't think he's a villain.
You don't think he's a villain? Well,
I mean,
the
the
villain of the
whole entire
movie.
movie wants me to think he's a villain, but I don't think he's a villain because like towards the end when they confront him and they're like, "Oh, you made us steal cars." I'm like, "Yeah, he's contributed to the economy." Okay? And you want that money to move around or else there's going to be an economic recession and who knows how much money he's contributing to the economy.
Well,
You don't
insurance will pay for all those cars too that are
Yeah,
being stolen, so,
exactly.
yeah,
The
that's important.
insurance will pay it. Yeah, this is actually a win for the people, actually. It's a loss for the company, but the win for the people. And
Yeah.
this is like this is why this man who wants his cars stolen, they're like not a villain, but the movie wants me to think they're a villain.
I suppose, I guess I thought he was a villain because of his accent and because he's just some psycho that's, like, building wooden tables and shit, and then
I mean,
he
what? Some psycho building wooden tables? Is the building wooden tables part the psycho indicator? Or
I
like
guess.
what indicates that he's a psycho?
Like, he works in, like, a metal factory, he's the boss of it, but he likes working with wood. He's just off, I guess. It's very, uh you get how they're trying to paint him as the villain, right? By those.
Sure. I'm not sure. I'm still not convinced at all how he's a psycho. Oh, he's a boss of a metal factory, but his hobby is he likes to work with wood. Yeah, that is completely understandable. He works with metal. He wants to work with a different material.
At some point, maybe I'll convince myself. Not even convince you. Maybe I'll convince myself that I'm right. Um. So there's points. There's little hijinks here and there when they're stealing the cars. Some of the keys are tracked by the cops, so they can't get certain cars. So they have to go get them from the cop warehouse. The dog eats some of the keys, so they have to wait till it poops. Uh, and then finally you get to Nicolas Cage getting the very last car that Eleanor, the unicorn, and yeah, all like you said, it's like the third act. It all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. The third act is pretty insane. Uh Honestly, I'd best describe this movie as something to just watch cars go vrooming,
Hmm.
and the plot makes some sense. You won't get completely enraged. You don't have to turn your brain off completely. If
No,
you're like
yeah,
me, if you're like me who has to have the brain on at all times in order to function, and you can't turn your brain off, uh, you don't have to in this movie.
no, absolutely. I think I walked out for like 10 minutes to go like make a sandwich or something, and then came back, and I didn't miss anything really. I knew what was still going on. They're stealing cars. They're going
Yeah,
fast.
yeah. Like, it's a movie where you can glance at it and know what's happening. It's also a movie you can fully immerse yourself in, and you get more of the experience. But you know what's happening pretty much throughout the entire movie. It's like when something happens, it's not subtle at all. It's like, oh, this is happening now.
So we get to the end where he gets the last car, and there's a nice chase scene with helicopters and other cop cars chasing him, and he's jumping over ramps and shit. It looks great action scene wise. And he gets to the shipyard, or no, I believe so, right? And he's 12 minutes late, and that villain uh tells him, "Nah, you're late. We're gonna kill you. Go kill him."
Yeah, he was late, dude. Uh, that's a crime. Okay?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a
It's
man
a
who's supposed to have made a lot of money 12 minutes ago, and he didn't get his money. What? Who knows which type of business deals he had?
No, you're absolutely right. Time is money, and 12 minutes is pretty significant of a
Yeah,
yeah, they guarantee, or they promised a time, they were late. I understand. I understand that part where he's like,
yeah.
"Nope, you're late. You're late. You're late."
The murder part is a little extreme, but it is the verbal agreement they had.
Yeah, yeah. I'm either gonna kill your brother or I'm gonna kill you if you don't deliver them by 8 a.m. this day. It was not did not happen. Henceforth, I will kill you. So
Yeah,
understandable.
of
So
course they try to fight him.
yep, they do. His brother comes to save him because family, right?
Family.
And he goes and he's having like a not a shootout with the quote unquote villain, but the villain has a gun and they're there kind of hiding. But then the cops show up, and so they get in the middle of the shootout too. That one
The
main cop
cops
that's
are the
after.
real villains of this movie.
they
Actually.
they really are actually.
Yeah.
So the cop gets in a shootout with the quote unquote villain, the woodworking man, and he gets right in front of him, and that guy's like, "I'll shoot you. I'll kill you. I don't care if you're a cop. No one will remember you." And he says like real asshole shit to him, you know,
Beautiful.
which is what we all want to say to cops. And
Mhm.
Memphis runs, gives him the spear, and just launches him off of platform, and he falls to his death.
Ah, there goes that part of the economy. That his death represented the economy's death in that
Or
movie.
at least a drop in it.
Yeah,
The inflation and deflation and all that.
exactly. Uh, what was your favorite part of this movie and why?
Well, you know, with the ending where the cop is like, hey, I was gonna arrest you, but you saved my life, so we're cool. And I was like, I don't think that's how cops like investigations work. Like you know?
Yeah, I mean,
You don't
when
save
did
a
the
cop's
prison
life, and
industrial complex become a thing? And was it after this movie was made or before?
I could not tell you. I have
Because
no
they're
idea.
incentivized to bring you to jail. It's a whole monetary system.
Hmm. That's what I
So
thought
like,
too.
yeah, I was like, wait, you just oh, thank you for saving my life. That outweighs the crime that you did, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's not how the justice system
Mm,
works. I'm pretty damn sure it's not. But okay, family, right?
family.
Uh, my favorite part of this movie, I would say, I think is like Angelina Jolie and Nicolas Cage, like their dynamic, because it's so odd, and then seeing her as a trashy like B character, not even like the main character, it's just nice to see because she's all like kind of weird and skinny as fuck now. She was there back then too, but it was nice to see her.
I mean, was she the love interest?
Yeah, I believe so.
I always ignore those parts of movies. I like don't care about the love interest part at all. Except for except for if the love interest is being held at gunpoint by the villain, is like you got to choose this or this, and then they have to
Hmm.
choose, and then at that point it's like, well, they're part of the plot now, you know.
No, yeah, I get you. What was your favorite part of this movie?
I really liked. I like the third act. That part was tense when the cops were coming after them, and I was like, oh wow, are they going to make it? It was just fun to watch. I don't know. It was just a fun watch. What would
Yeah,
you rate
it was
this
fun.
movie?
I'd give it like a 6. It's good, but there's some scenes in it like where I'm like, yeah, like with the new kids and some of the other stuff, it's just like, this is kind of just cheesy or corny. But I did like Nicolas Cage and Angelina Jolie in the movie. 6.
Yeah,
What
I
about
think
you?
6 is fair. I'd give 6.5 just because I like the pacing's good. It's got some solid pacing, but it is pretty cheesy. Um, but yeah, it's a movie that has structure, and that's good.
Do you think, and this is just me asking you, do you think this? Well, have you seen Fast and Furious, like the first ones?
Yeah, I have.
Are are they something like this?
No, um, it's kind of Fast and Furious movies are more so like it's like a street culture kind of thing.
Hmm.
Uh, like street racing is kind of like a culture kind of thing. You got a cop trying to infiltrate into that culture to bring it down. Like that's the plot of the first Fast and Furious. But then
Hmm.
he like falls in love with the culture, and then by the end of the movie, he's like he leaves the police force because he likes to race cars so much. Um,
Do you
and then
think?
the other Fast and Furious movies, they really do heavily focus around street racing more than
Uh-huh.
like sprint cars, except for until we get to the later movies or like that.
Where it's like superhero shit?
Yeah, especially 7.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
they
the only one
steal a
I've seen.
fucking Lamborghini out of a skyscraper.
Do you think? And this is just me again asking. Do you think this could cross over with the Fast and the Furious and kind of breathe new life into it, or bring it back to its roots?
Um, no,
No.
I don't think anything can bring back the Fast and Furious franchise. The Rock and Vin Diesel feuding destroyed it,
Hmm.
and now Vin Diesel. I don't know. I haven't seen X yet, so I don't know what the new movie's like. But I've seen 9, and that was kind of like, oh, now The Rock's gone. You can continue with what we were, but it's like you kind of his involvement in your in your freaking movie, like
Uh-huh.
and you guys' egos clashing just tainted the entire series, and it's unrecoverable.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Personally, I think the Fast and Furious movies peaked at 7.
Hmm.
That was the one. That was the last one that Paul Walker was in.
Mm.
So
No, I've only seen 7. I've never seen the other one, so I wondered if this one could. I don't know. I'd always like just bring Gone in 60 Seconds into it if you wanted to bring a big star like Angelina Jolie is of course a big star now, and Nicolas Cage will do anything, any movie at any price. So I think it'd be interesting to bring them in as these characters and have people like wink at the camera or something.
yeah. Uh. Yeah. This is a cool movie. It's a cool
Well,
movie.
with the movie, we have a little game for you. It is called, what do I call it here? Video vehicles, and we're just gonna look at cars that are from movies and just name either the movie or the car. Let's take
Lightning
a.
McQueen.
I should have put him in here. God damn it. Let me check here. Let me add this. Oop. So, do you know this first one?
That's a Ghostbusters car.
Hell yeah, yeah. Do you like Ghostbusters?
I like the first one.
Yeah, it's all right. I never grew up watching it, but it's all right.
That's true. It is all right. It's more of a business movie than anything else.
Do you know what this car is from?
My name is Earl.
I don't think it's. No, I'm pretty sure it's not in My Name Is Earl. Not this particular car.
Oh. Uh. It's from a movie.
It's So this director always has this car in every movie he's ever made.
It's not the Pussy Wagon.
No.
So it's not Tarantino. Oh God.
Do you know
It's
who directed Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man?
Sam Raimi.
Yeah. This car's in every movie he's ever done.
Oh. I didn't even notice. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, the first Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2, that's the car like that's they drive in. And apparently this car's in every movie he's ever done, even The Quick and the Dead, which is a western. It's somehow somewhere in the movie, you have to find it.
Huh. That's so weird, but also
Mhm.
really cool.
This next, do you know this truck or what movie it's from?
That has the Green Goblin's face on it. What the fuck is a semi truck?
I think it's not the Green Goblin to a point where copyright can't be infringed. Kind of like
Ah,
when you add clippers to a logo.
it's not the Green Goblin. It's the
Technically, I don't
Green
think it is.
Bloblin.
Do you know what movie this from is from?
No idea. Oh wait, is
This
it that Jim Carrey movie?
No, that would no. I was like, would that make sense? I don't think he's done a horror movie. He's done at least one or two. This is called Maximum Overdrive, and it's where I guess all the vehicles like come to life and attack humans or something.
Like Transformers?
Something like that, but they're still just cars, but
Oh,
they get possessed by I don't even know. I don't even remember the plot. It's a Stephen King movie.
interesting.
Do you know what this mobile is?
It's huh, I can't tell which animal this is. It's like I've never seen this before. This is crazy. I don't know where this could possibly it's Batmobile.
Do you know which director Batmobile it is?
Um Tim Burton?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Wonderful.
Okay. Yeah, it kind of it's Tim Burton-esque.
Hell yeah. Do you know what movie this car's
That's
from?
a DeLorean.
Hell yeah.
It's a
Fucking
fast and it's too fast for time.
Back to the Furious.
Back to the Future.
Let's see here. Do you know what movie this car's from?
Oh. Um hmm.
The name of the car is the name of the movie.
The name of the car is the name of the movie. Christine?
Yeah. Dang, you knew that one?
Yeah, I remember Christine was about a car.
Yeah, it was just
And
like a
Christine was the chick too, I think.
yeah, and this car just kills people out of jealous rage, like a woman.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's why they named the car She's.
That's true. And then it's
Yeah.
less gay. I wouldn't want to name my car a dude. That'd be gay.
I named my car Dude.
Well, because you're a girl, a straight woman, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you know what this car is? Besides
Oh.
the name being right there.
Oh god, it's General Lee.
Yeah. Do you know what movie it's from?
Oh
Or it's a
god, which
TV show?
movie? Uh it's like really popular. Dukes of Hazzard.
There you go. Hell yeah. The 1969 Dodge Charger. Last vehicle here. And really try hard to guess this one.
Oh, it's Transformers.
Do
Also,
you
I saw a police cam video of somebody who is like speeding in the Dukes of Hazzard car, but because they were in the Dukes of Hazzard car and the cop pulled them over, they're like, "Oh, I like that TV show. Good day." He was like going 100 miles per hour. I was like, "What the fuck?"
sometimes people could just get away with that shit. I mean, all I know is if whether you're fast or you're slow or you want to just slow down and enjoy some good sexy content, where can the people find you, Bint?
I do daily movie reviews at Patreon. That's not my Patreon. I'm at my YouTube. I do daily movie reviews at youtube.com/ASC Presents. You can request a movie review at patreon.com/ASC Presents. Go check out my spicy content. Help them support the daily grindiness. Follow them daily movies. Link tr.ee/titspin salad or autisticboobs.com. And that's where you can find me.
Hell yeah. And I do a podcast called That's All Funny. It's daily. You can check it out wherever anywhere podcasts are available. Do podcasts with my buddy Gabe called That's All Kayfabe. We talk about wrestling. That's every Monday, everywhere podcasts are available. Check out the YouTube channel where you're watching this right now, youtube.com/at Lorenzo Arreola. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Lorenzo Arreola for early content, bonus content, all that. But I want to thank the great Mint Salad for being here. I want to thank all of y'all for watching. And don't be too fast. Don't be too furious. Slow down. Enjoy life. And take care. Bye.